Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What's up, friends? Welcome back to TV Terminal. My name is Adam Vale, senior editor over at the Koalition.com, and
my name is Josh Lamage, writer for the Koalition. Hope everyone's doing well today.
Right? Yeah, of course they are, because they just watched a badass monster show. That's why. A badass monster show that a lot of people aren't talking about. What's going on? If you are watching this, then share with your friends, not just this show, but the show itself. Apple, the Monarch, it's fantastic. I mean, with the special effects and the acting and all this stuff, is it campy? Maybe. I mean, it's about monsters. You can't take it too serious, but still, it's entertaining. It's different. It's fun. You know, I don't know. I don't know what else to say, because
I've been asking my friends, and they never heard of it.
I know they think we're making stuff up. It's like, yo, what are you covering? Monarch Legacy Monster. Hey, if you don't want to tell me, fine, be that way. But I was like, no, it's legit. It's a monster show.
A real show, guys.
There are no monster shows on Apple. It's all sci-fi stuff. Yeah, this is sci-fi. No, not that type of sci-fi. You know, for All Mankind and for Silo, all that stuff. You know, Foundation. No one understands this. I don't know. So people, put in the comments, if you are watching the show, do you have other friends that are watching this? Are you sharing this info, this hidden secret of this show that you watch on Apple? I don't know. But hey, you know what? Doesn't matter. It's for us. We're watching it and we're enjoying it. And thanks for liking, subscribing, hyping, sharing, and then just communicating with us and jumping in on this, because this is a fun show. Got King Kong, Godzilla, Titan X, and who knows what else. Maybe King Ghidorah. We don't know. Could be all kinds of stuff. But hey, let's get into this. This was season 2, episode 2. What's the name, Josh?
Resonance.
Oh, prove it. Okay, Resonance. That makes sense, because sound. Yes, the sound. And this episode opened up with such a large roar from Kong. And I made the audio clip, and then when I played it back, it almost blew out my eardrums. And you said we would scare people. I wanted to play it right at the beginning, the roar, and I was
sounded good though.
It did sound good, but it was too loud, and we already get enough of. Yep, go ahead.
I mean, it was like a mix of a helicopter and Kong roaring and just running through the island. He's trying to catch this thing before it went into the water, where we left off in the last episode. And Kong gets there too late. He's pissed. He turns as the helicopter goes by, and Shaw and Keiko have this little conversation where she's like, she looks at him and she's like, "Are you okay?" And Shaw's like breathing heavy, and he's like, "I feel I've been through worse, right?" And then he's like, "Did you?"
And then he falls right out of the plane. He just fell, and that was like, "Yo, what a waste to go and save this guy," and then he died. I wish it would have been something interesting, but no, you're right. Keep going.
He goes, "Did you see it? Did you recognize it?" I was like, "I've seen it before." Both of them have seen it before. They agree. As the helicopter goes off, and then the credits roll.
Yeah, they see the Monarch ship. Shaw's not thrilled by that, because remember, he's had a hard time with Monarch. He came back before. They said he was crazy. They locked him away for like 30 years. I can't imagine that life, being put in a home in a situation like that. Yeah, you're crazy. You said all this stuff. The whole process is crazy. The fact he disappeared for so long and came back, and that still bothers me. That was part of season 1. But hey, it is what it is. But like you said, you know, they know what Titan X, I guess, is what we're calling this. They've seen this before, and we'll see it also from before the flashbacks in 1957.
So we see the creature swimming through the water. Giant tentacle creature. We see like the spikes from its backs, swimming through. Monarch is watching this Titan as it's traveling, and they're like, "Okay, how far is it?" It's like, it's pretty far out. They're like right on its tail slightly, but they just can't catch up no matter what they're doing. And Tim, I guess, is now in charge, since who was it that died?
The boss lady, yeah, and I think that was Natalia. Yeah, the boss lady that got whacked and went flying, and then that's it. Out of sight, out of mind. She's gone. And so they're like, "Oh, you're the boss now." Now, I'm surprised by this, because the way they were setting things up in the previous episode with Keiko, where she's one of the founding members of Monarch. And they kept bringing that up. At least Tim was. I was like, oh, you're setting things up that once something happens, which what we saw of the boss lady, that you're the new boss lady. She's going to be in charge. But that's not what happened here. They're all looking at him and they're like, oh, well, chain of command. And, according to the board. And he's a flipping out. What do you mean? How could you say that? She's a person. She has family.
His reactions were strange because it was like, I mean, it's a confusing thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he ever thought he was going to be in this position of power. But then he's also like weirdly taking the position and also deflecting it at the same time. So they're wondering what he's going to do. He's like, oh, we got to contact the government. We got to find out what's going on. This thing is loose. And Shaw runs in and he's like, who's in command?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you are. Like, who's doing this?
But the other funny thing is the reason why he's saying that is because they were like, oh, we lost comms. We can't connect to Washington. I was like, really? Nobody can connect? I mean, there's satellite phones, all those things. Even if, let's say, the main comms of the ship is down, they have satellite phones. I mean, yeah, we could push that out. They had the progressive story. But just that reasoning, it's like, I would have bought what happened later on where he received commands, but you know what? I don't want to do these commands. If they could have just bumped it right here. But go ahead with Shaw.
I mean, also what the problem with this is that Tim kind of wants to try to play it by the book, and Shaw is saying, we don't have a lot of time. If this thing makes land or attacks things, like we're gonna have another G-Day. Everyone's like, "What's G-Day?" And it's like one of the worst catastrophes they've ever had. Have you seen G-Day before?
No, I don't remember
Referenced
that.
it before? Is this like a new thing?
I don't. Go ahead, put it in the comments, people. I'm blanking on this when I heard that, but I was like, well, for people in Monarch, they should know this because their job is hunting down and tracking monsters. So you would think you would know the first time it happened.
Day in our history.
That's like, D-Day. We all know D-Day, right? Mm-hmm. We know that. Normandy, all that stuff. Come on now. But for them, it was kind of funny that they all drew blank. The only person I think gets a pass on that is Keiko. I think she's the only one that gets a pass because she was like, I've been gone for a while. I don't know. But everybody else, you should all know this. Especially the Kate. Kate was a school teacher. Come on now.
And Tim yells at Shaw. He's like, none of this would have happened if you didn't drag Kate down to the rift and this whole thing. And so then it cuts and we see we were trying to come up with names for this creature. We're settling on Baby Titan. These little
you had a name. Was it the Isobot?
It looks like an isopod to me.
Isopod.
It has it says like the features of an isopod. It has, but then it also has like tentacles and things. Big eyes. I think this is the first time we really saw the eyes and the teeth. Razor sharp teeth. Looks like layers of teeth. I mean,
yeah, it's a little creepy looking thing. Their own version of a xenomorph over here, just crawling around the ship. It made it. Now we saw so many of these, and we see them again when we do the flashback. So I guess I'm not surprised that one snuck on the ship. Whichever way it did. I'm assuming it was jumped into the helicopter, right? Because
I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that it stayed dormant, or like it was like sneaking around like stealthily. Like it makes me wonder if this thing has like
it's aware.
Yeah, it's aware. Right?
Definitely is. It's definitely aware. I mean, it's also trying to keep itself alive because it doesn't know if, let's say, all right, later on Kate said it came from the island. We saw a bunch of this. This is from the island and all that stuff. Okay, so that means it got on that helicopter and just hid and waited because it was like, oh, I can't do much here. But once you get on a big ship, you could roam. But yeah, it would have been interesting if it just started attacking all of them.
It just stayed on the helicopter,
just like sucking on everybody, and then the helicopter drops and the show is over. Roll the credits. That's it. This is the shortest season ever. 2 episodes, right? Got taken out by Baby Titan over here.
So Hiroshi and Kentaro are talking about how the button was pressed and who's to blame for this whole thing, and Hiroshi's pissed. He's like, the button shouldn't have never been pressed. And ironically, Kate walks in at that moment, hearing her father freak out about this. And I think we have an audio.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Then whose fault is it?
Why does it have to be anyone's fault? It's done. We move on.
No. That's how you do it. You move on.
Wait.
I didn't mean to say it that way. You're right. Blame me. Yeah, buddy, she's been blaming you. Well, that I didn't understand. The follow-up line of like, I get it. The whole thing with your mom, blame me. She is blaming you. Didn't you not pick that up? That's the whole thing.
Nothing is validating anything he says. Like it's really
No,
funny. He's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, I cheated. I was bored. Like,
Yeah, she knew she at work. It's like I got donuts, coffee, girlfriend already. You know what I mean? Come on now, can't you relate with me? Can't you relate? It's like I don't know that whole thing.
She's never gonna hear anything she wants to hear from this guy.
No, and I still find it funny that they're complaining about the button. They were all there to do this. You know what I mean? It's not like, remember, it was like, oh, we got to fix this so that way we can go and into the other realm to go pick up. This was the goal. It wasn't like, hey,
You
what's that
stole a
thing over there?
boat. You had to do a
Don't
bunch of stuff.
touch it. No, stop. There was none of that. None of that. And I don't like that that's what they're trying to portray. It's like, damn, if only she didn't press the button. Did you tell her to press the button? No, I didn't tell her to press the button. That was the goal, to press the button. You knew what you're doing, but whatever.
Hiroshi looks at her and he's like, well, you blamed me for keeping my life a secret, and the secret is what brought you here. So yeah, blame me.
We all blame you. We all blame you.
So Kate's upset. She's walking through the hallway. Some guy in like a lab outfit, he bumps into her. He's looking down at a pad or something. He's researching something, and he walks into one of the lab rooms. He starts to hear chittering. Well, we hear the chittering sounds. I don't think he really hears it at first. Then he like looks around, and he's like, what's going on? He goes forward, and then he looks up, and we see like full the face of this creature on the wall.
Jumps on his face, or sucking eye. Oh man, the eyeball pop out like little gumdrops. And no, I mean, I use my imagination for that. But yeah, we got a nice overhead shot, and he's gone. The extra's gone. No one cares. No one cares. No one goes looking for him. Right? There's no mention that this guy is gone. That's it. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But whatever.
But it goes to show that these things could be, dangerous too. Because when we've seen them before, we saw Shaw running past a bunch of them. Then one of them like took forever to attack him in the room, in the shuttle thing.
Yeah.
But, like this one just went straight for the kill.
Yeah, that's it. He's hungry. I don't know. I mean, it's been a while. So
then
now we get that flashback, right?
Yeah, back we're in Santa Soledad.
Yeah, 1957. We're back in the cave. They're taking a look. They find what it looks like fossils of these weird-looking creatures, which now we know is all linked to Baby Titan and Titan X, or what we're calling it here.
Yeah, they see these things on the stones, like carvings. Almost looks like kind of looks like fossilized images as well. But I guess yeah, right. So Billy, Keiko, they're all together, and they want to know what's enriching. Well, she wants to know what's enriching the water with all these fish and stuff. Like she's trying to figure out exactly what the deal is. And Bill,
the science,
yeah, and Bill feels that what he saw, the engravings on the wall, is a map of how this creature travels. So he's like, I need to go to another spot.
Santiago, right? Somewhere else.
You want to travel to another spot. And Keiko's like, no, I'm not done here. Like, I want to keep working on this. And he's like, all right, well, then we'll split up. And then Shaw's like, no, we're not splitting up. We're going with you. And then it just comes down to the consensus is like, all right, we're splitting up. He leaves. Keiko stays.
Yeah, for sure. And then that's it. Let's just say, bad move. You never split up. I mean, we know this from horror movies, right? It's like, just if you're gonna die, all die together. Don't just split up and then you don't know what happened to so and so. Because remember, this is 1957. No cell phones, no beepers. They don't even have a hotel room, so it's not like, oh, contact the hotel. Let me know if you got there safe. No, if something happens to Bill, that's it. Same vice versa with Shaw and Keiko. If something happens to them and Bill comes back and he talks to the townspeople and they pull like Resident Evil village, like, what do you mean? What people? They left with you on the boat. Don't know. Got to go back to the bar. That's it. Don't split up. So I knew right there that was a bad move.
Well, Shaw also brings up a point where they're like, or was it one of them said, if we turned around after every time tried to spook us, we'd, we'll be out of business, really. So the villagers are not happy with them, but, they're kind of unfazed except for Shaw. He's the only one being kind of mindful about this whole thing.
Yeah. Well, whatever. All right, we jump back to present day. We got Kate and May. They're hanging out. May's asking, say, by the way, you call your mom? And your mom's like, no, it's been 2 years. Remember, I can't. That's a horrible reason. Horrible. Can you imagine not calling your mom, Josh, for 2 years? Can you say, you know what? I'm gonna
I
ride.
don't even want to imagine what mom would do.
Busy coming
My
back,
mom.
tracking monsters. I met your mom. She's a nice lady. Yeah, doing all that stuff and then not calling her and not telling
You
her.
mean your mom?
Maybe. No, imagine that. I can't imagine that. So it's a dumb reasoning, and even May brings that up. So out of all the conversations that are happening in this episode, this was like eye rolling. Come on now. There's no good reason. You're over here coming down about your dad and the multiple wives and families and all that stuff. Meanwhile, who knows? We don't know much of what's going on with her mom. She doesn't know even if she came back, if she died, was she missing? What did Monarch tell her about what happened to Kate? Right?
She should come forth.
Yeah,
and say
yeah,
something
yeah.
at least.
That just brings up a bunch of other
bare
stuff.
minimum. I'm alive.
Exactly. I'm sure there's a lot of moms that were watching this show. Like, maybe this is when I fast forward because no parent wants to hear that. You all want to think that if something happens and your kid's missing, they will be considerate and reach out when they come back or wherever they were.
Our mom would find us.
She would find us. Right. There you go. I'm on Craigslist.
We also had Tim and Shaw. They had a little conversation and Tim's like, I'm not the guy for this. Like, I can't handle this. I don't know what to do. I'm not like this. And Shaw looks at him and he goes, some men have greatness thrust upon them. So what are you going to do? And he's like, well, deal with the consequences. We got a call that, you're to be brought into Monarch full headquarters and to be detained. So Shaw's like, all right, puts his arms out and he's like, take me. And Tim's like, I'm just going to say that this message was mumbled up and he crumples the paper.
And plus, I don't know what I'm doing. So
I need you.
I need you here. Can you make believe you're the boss? Can we do that? This part that I didn't understand, especially with we got to lock you up for debriefing and all. No, I mean he's a colonel. If anything, he knows what's going on, and still bring him in and be like, yeah, we'll do debriefing. But I don't understand why they had to say to lock him up during this because that didn't really make much sense to me. At least here.
I guess all the stuff he did last season.
I mean, if that's the case, then what about Keiko? Same thing, right?
Yeah, all of them, really.
Put her away too. She's been gone for a while. What about her being locked up for debriefing and stuff? Oh man.
The Titan is swimming through the water super fast.
Massive.
They can't even reach it at all. And Shaw and Keiko are talking about how Monarch has changed and it's just another government agency, he pretty much thinks.
Yeah.
And so he looks around. He's like, okay, like, can we go a little faster? Like, what's going on here? And Tim's like, this is the fastest we could go. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, if we boost our speed, we risk overheating and our engine will die. I was like, well, who cares about an engine? We're avoiding a disaster right now. We need to catch up to this thing.
I don't believe that. None of that. That doesn't even add up. None of that makes sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Then they get a thing on the radar that it's a bunch of ships. It's a bunch of like import ships. They're all just like in a bay waiting to get clearance to continue on.
Yeah.
So
Wait. Gotta rewind. No, I'm upset because Tim said it. He got a notice from the commanders when he finally got the confirmation that his only goal right now is to track the Titan at all costs. Just go. Everything else doesn't matter. So this argument about if we go too fast, we're gonna break down. Doesn't matter. Still do it because let's say you're like, oh, you know what? Let's slow things down. And then Washington calls in again. It's like, hey, how's it going? Oh well, we're scared we're gonna overheat, so we're going to like 30 or something. We slowed it down. They're gonna fire him. They're gonna flip out. They're like, no, that's not the goal. That upset me. That whole little thing because then what happens? He eventually says, yeah, you're right. Okay, let's.
there's a lot of that in this episode. It's like, like a good speech, and the person's like, "Yeah, okay, let's we had the power to do this from the jump." But
yeah.
I think logically speaking, like maybe he just was. They were trying to just keep an eye on this thing because losing the engine and then losing this thing would be even worse because they just would have no idea where it is. But obviously, Shaw's like, "Let's catch up to it. Let's get it right now. Like we got to stop it."
Well, even that is like eye rolling a bit because, like, well, when you catch up, how do you bring it on board? Do you have weapons that can kill this thing? Right now, no. This is just a reconnaissance. We don't even know where it's going. It's definitely hauling itself to some places. You know what I mean? Where is it going? What is motivating? Yeah.
They brought up Monarch's mission statement, which I thought was kind of funny, but they said it's discovery and defense in a time of monsters. And Keiko's like, those are Billy's words. Like, we need to do this. Like, we need to discover,
Do it for the science. Did you
So
not watch Star Trek, the original series? We're explorers. Yeah.
So they decided to go faster. Then we're back in 1957 briefly. We see the boat leaving. The bartender lady's watching them as they go, and one of the guys. I don't think we got any of his name. One of the villagers.
Yeah, villager number 4.
He's more like a leader type villager, I guess. But he comes next to her, and they're having a conversation in Spanish, and he's basically like, "Did they leave?" She's like, "One of them did." He's like, "Well, why aren't they leaving?" She's like, "I'm gonna try and talk to them." And he goes, "Well, if they don't leave, then it's out of our hands. Like, it's too late." So I'm over here like, okay, are they gonna be sacrificed to this thing?
Oh yeah. Because if you remember the first episode, we saw that altar and it had like blood and stuff on it, and it was in the middle of the village there.
I thought it was gonna be that scene. Remember King Kong, Peter Jackson's King Kong?
Oh yeah.
When they put the girl on the thing, and
it's an offering. It's an offering for Kong. Yeah. Well, it was definitely hinting that, and I think that was their intention, because I'm sure all the viewers are like, oh yeah. We get it. Something bad's going to happen here to these people.
So Keiko and Shaw are in a cave.
Yeah,
and they're
still 1957.
Like, yeah, and then it's like, are you mad at Bill? And she's like, I'm mad at him I'm mad at myself for being mad at him. Like he needs to do his thing. Like he's so like driven by his job. And then they bring up the conversation of Kentaro's father. Yeah. Which we don't really hear about it.
No, this is like the only time we really hear anything about him.
Yeah.
He was a great guy, fought in the military, or he was part of the military. He was a doctor.
He was a doctor.
Yeah.
And,
before and after. Yeah.
He I guess helped the people. He was a doctor in Nagasaki, and then after, so I guess he survived
well, yes and no, because he died of cancer.
Well, he died of cancer, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's all related, but there was 2 big takeaways from this scene. It was that one, and the fact that she has this ability to hear or communicate in a way with the creature, with Titan X, if we want to go there.
She felt it, like she
sensed
it.
She feels it. She was like, do you feel the vibes and the vibrations? And he was like, no.
Maybe she's more sound sensitive or something. I don't know. Like,
no. But there's definitely something going on with her, and as we know later on with Kate going through the same deal. So there's going to be a connection with all of this, and I'm curious to see where that goes.
She talks about her husband like, oh, he protected me, he provided for me, but it wasn't enough. The only thing that Bill cares about more than Monarch is us, and he allows me to be my own self.
You know what she said? She said herself and Shaw. She didn't bring up her son, Kentaro. She didn't bring that up. And I don't remember if he knew about him at that point. She was hiding him for a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Put in the comments, people, if you know. I don't know. But maybe that's what, because I was like, oh well. But then again, when we get later on in the episode and she's having that heart-to-heart with her son, it looks like Billy didn't really pay much attention to him anyway.
Well, that's this conversation. He cares more about work.
Yeah.
So we're back on the ship now, present day. Everyone's like, what can we use against this Titan? Like, okay, we catch up to it, but like, what are we gonna do? And Shaw or someone brings up, what about a drone? And the guy's like, Tim's like, oh well, yeah, we have a drone. He's like, is it armed? He's like, yeah, with a camera. And then Keiko comes in with some good advice. She goes, well, we've seen this thing before. It responds to sound waves. I guess like in a way, like most whale-like creatures or sea creatures that respond with sounds. She's like, is there any way we could signal this thing to a subsonic level below human hearing?
Well, what's the point? All right, so you get the sonar, you get the sound wave. Okay, it draws its attention, but where are you pointing it? Because I don't even think they know where it's going. It's not like one of these where it's always going toward, a village or an island and it's going to destroy it. We don't know where it's going. So, okay, let's say you get the sonar and it's like, hey, what's that? And it's like following it. Where do you point it to? do you point it back to Skull Island? Is that the goal?
I have a feeling that either
I
it's two.
just
One thing. I think the thing is going towards Chile or wherever we were before. That it's
Skull
associated
Island, yeah.
with that area. It's going back to its usual path.
Oh,
I
from
don't.
1957.
Yeah, I don't know how it got
Oh, okay.
into that other dimension, but then again, that's a whole other question.
And it's trying to
I mean,
go
it's the
back.
same thing how like, other things go in and out, right? But then
Mhm.
um I think maybe I
Mm.
think maybe they were trying to pinpoint it. Like, so you know how like if you have like a thing that like like when you're playing with a laser and your mount and your cat is following it, like
Yeah.
maybe they thought that they could have the drone go around in an area
I
and maybe just
guess.
contain the thing for a bit. That's
So
all I
they just should have finished the idea, the plan. Okay, get the sonar working on the drone, and they cut it from there. But what's the angle? Where you're trying to fill in the
yeah.
blanks on that one. I don't know. All right.
Well, they were
What do
too
you-
because they were like, "What are we gonna do once we get up to it? Like, we don't have nothing to
No,
really
no,
hit it with."
nothing to hit it with. No, no.
And so yeah, so they get this drone going, and then they're trying to think. So they're like, "We have 20 minutes before the sailors have a very bad day. Those ships." So they're trying to gather
Trying to
this.
speed things up. Yeah, because of the big shipping lane area, that's where it's going, and it's probably going to bump into all of them and cause chaos and stuff.
We go back to 1957, and Keiko um, wants to get towards some deeper water. She wants to do more studying, and then they're in the cave, and the guy from the bar walks in with the bartender. He's like, "You found what you're looking for?" She's like, "Not really, but that's like a part of our job." And she goes, "I hope we didn't step on the wrong foot, and we apologize if we've intruding on anything."
I was like, I hope you like everything on the walls here, because this is the last thing you're ever gonna see. Takes out a big ass Rambo knife. Big fight scene here. No, that didn't happen. Instead, he invites them to a party. I had to get this audio. It was very funny.
Come. There will be food, music.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you for the invite, but I think that
Sí.
we should go.
Sí.
We should go. Yeah.
Gracias, we accept.
Yeah.
That sounds like a conversation that my wife and I have whenever we can get invited places. And I'm like, no, we can't. Of course we can. We'll be there. Oh, yeah. Okay. Guess that's what's
Well, it's funny
happening.
because he's saying we should go in the terms of like we need to leave, and it could also be taken as like we should go. Yeah, like we should go to this.
It
Like,
could be, but no, I think he was just going along with what she said.
oh,
Because if not, he could have
he
just
wanted to leave.
he could have just cut it at that point. No, we're leaving now. But no, she still wants to find out what's going on here. What's the connection with the people, the community, the tattoo? Clearly, there's something, and they said it. Superstition. They feel that outsiders come in. This may cause problems with the fish hall. It's a fishing village, and they don't believe in that last stuff. They're not like that. Hey, come on, let's go party. We're gonna party. You came at perfect time. And then this is when they go to eat them. They're cannibals.
Then Hiroshi and Keiko are back in modern time. They're talking about what kind of frequency they should use on this thing, and they have a little mother-son moment, right, where she tells him to not bite his nails, and
Yeah.
despite like the weird age thing and going on, it's like she's still his mom.
Yeah. But it was sad because she said Billy would have liked all of this. Yeah, he would have. This was his thing. But he said it. He was like, yeah, well, he was too busy about work. You're right. He was all about work. He loved work more than anything. And I think at that point, that's when she realized, wow, my son pretty much had no parent.
Yeah,
That was it. Of course, that's
why
not
he
his
treats
bio
his
dad, I
kids
don't
like
think.
that, right?
And that's probably why. But then why even reproduce? You know what I mean? It's like, come on now. If
Well,
you
that is the
had a hard,
question as old
right?
as time, Adam.
I know, but if you had a horrible upbringing as a kid, and it's like, and you're not going to be around there, then you're like, you know what? I think I'll fix myself. I don't think I need kids. I didn't have a good childhood, and I don't want to put that through some other kids because I'm not going to be around. Now, I don't know. Well, who knows what you people feel of Hiroshi? How do you guys feel about him? You like him? You don't? You don't care?
Does this plot matter?
Right? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I mean, we knew it was going to get there. It was going to happen once she came back. We're going to have something unless he was going to take off again. And he's not. They're all part of this show. That was the thing where we saw a lot in the last season. People were all over the place. Well, now they're all on the boat. So we have to connect all these storylines. What's going on here?
So they send the drone out, and Keiko's watching this and she's like in awe of this stuff. And Shaw looks at her and he's like, yeah, they got pretty cool toys these days, but it's nothing on Experience and Instinct. And then we cut to Kate in her room and we see something scattered by and she hears it. And she walks out and she's looking in the hallways and we see blood scattered all over the walls from that guy that got, I guess the dude that got murdered earlier, or hopefully no one else, right? But she's seeing this and she sees him like crawling on the ceiling down a hallway. So she like goes to back up. She tries to call for help. No one's answering her. So she freaks out and grabs a fire.
Where's their communications officer? I get it. The comms were off, but this was the intercom. This was the intercom, and she can't get a hold of him. But yeah, she can get a hold of a fire extinguisher. So I'm glad that they still have those on this ship. So
she's ready. She's ready to fight it. She takes it out, right?
Yeah, ready to go. And then we get cut.
Yeah, we got another cut, and Shaw is, watching over the guy controlling the drone, and they fly it over, and he's like, "All right, get lower." And then he grabs literally the stick and like pushes the thing lower. And then it just becomes a problem where like the thing's tentacle just flies out, smashes the drone, and then it gets destroyed.
So do you think that was by accident, or you think that the creature knew, like it sensed this drone or whatever flying thing? It was like, oh, what is this? And swatted it.
Well, because they use some waves, they put some sound out to try to like do something. So yeah, I think it felt a little bit. It's on a mission.
But it's huge. That's one thing they did notice from the drone, from seeing this. It's a massive creature. So it's coming. It's coming.
Then we're back in 1957. Keiko and Shaw are hanging out outside of this place. Everyone's all dressed up in like this tribal garb and face paint, and they're dancing. And they're like, "What are we waiting for?" And one of them says, "The great god of the sea." They're having this festival. They're drinking wine, so they pass out a cup to both of them, and they like reluctantly drink it.
Well, I mean, it's a party. You're gonna drink. You see other people drinking. Hell, even the host was drinking. You don't think at that point they're gonna drug you in and eat you or do whatever they were gonna do. No ill will. I don't know about anybody else, but if you go to a festival party and see everybody having a good time and no one was staring at them strange, like, hey, are they gonna drink? So yeah, I probably would have grabbed a glass and even said, "What are we drinking?" He said, "Wine. It's all good."
They drank it, and then Keiko started feeling weird, and she's like, "Oh, what?" And she gets up, and she gets kind of dragged away for a little bit. Then they get into a dance, and Shaw's starting to feel it too, so they both start dancing. And then they have a moment where they just like look at each other, and like they're trying to like process each other, and they're smiling. And then someone like bumps into them. She bumps into him, and then we get a flashback of them kissing on a boat or something. So
they've had little moments here and there, but it's never really materialized because she's married to Billy, so it is what it is.
Then somebody comes in with a giant fish. They hang it over that altar that we saw in the middle, and they raise it up, and everyone starts dancing. And then they get quiet, and they all bow. And then the main guy that we'd seen before, he takes a knife and slices it down the middle, and blood and guts and things start pouring out. And then he takes some of the blood and he puts it on the head of the bartender lady. And she turns around, and like the symbol or like the thumbprints on his head almost resemble like the eyes of this creature because it goes from her forehead to the eyes of the creature.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening, and she realizes it. They're all realizing it. But then right before all this, there was another cut, and we got Kate with the fire extinguisher. Remember? Because she did pull it out. Yeah, we're back, and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna press this button." No, you still gotta pull the pin. She's trying to figure this thing out. It's getting real close. And thanks to Kataro, he shows up with a flare gun. So poof, shoots at it. Creature goes down, but not out. Shoots again. It stays down. Was it dead? I don't know.
She starts beating it with the fire extinguisher, and the thing has had enough. It screams out. It sends out a sonic boom.
Yep. And it said, "Stop." Like, oh my Lord.
Mom.
Right? That's it. Kataro fainted. Kate, she just started shaking. She couldn't believe it. She felt horrible.
It ripples through the entire ship, and the water and everything ripples all the way to the creature. And it just decides, and then they're looking on the radar, and they're like, "Oh, it's turning around. Okay, it's changing course." And they're like, "Wait a minute, it's not turning around. It's turning around towards us. Like it's coming towards us."
Yeah. Well, this is it. So we don't know where it was going before, but we know where it's going now, and it's headed toward the ship.
And Shaw's
So
like, we need to turn the ship around. We need to keep it at full speed. I was like, dude, we keep it at full speed. Our engine's going to die and we're going to be stuck here. And he goes, I don't care. We need to buy time. Let's find this creature. So they run down. The engines eventually die. And Shaw gets on one of those little speedboat things. And they have the creature wrapped up. They throw it on the boat. And he's like, I'm going to go. So he dips out. And everyone's watching and Kate feels the same thing that her mom felt before. She's standing there.
Well,
from
grandma.
From the grandma.
Yeah.
So it sounds like I mumbled, sorry. And you see the ground, the water like rippling with sound waves, like making symbols of circles and stuff. And she's, I guess she's sensitive to it. So Shaw's out there. He's on his boat. He's trying to lure this thing away. It's following him. It casts a giant wave, and he's kind of like surfing through this like tunnel of water, And they're like, "Oh man, he's dead! Like it got him." He tossed the thing out, and he
It was smart. He figured this is what it wants. It wants this creature, and luckily, they didn't kill it. Because if it was dead, then they would probably all be dead.
And we see the mouth of this thing, crazy teeth,
massive
piranha teeth right here.
Oh,
or
man.
more.
I've seen piranhas up close. Remember, Uncle Jose had one in a tank, and it was all murky water, dirty. Oh, and then also from Bruce Leroy, Last Dragon. I'm pretty sure
Uncle
that was
Jose had a piranha.
He had a piranha in a tank.
Has like random
animals. That was disgusting. But yeah, this definitely looked like a massive one. And hey, he was lucky that he survived this, not the uncle, but with Shaw, the fact that he threw it's funny because they show he just picks up and chucks it, and then he's like, all right, going back. And yeah, everybody on the ship instantly thought, oh, he didn't make it, but he did. Ta-da, he makes
the creature's interesting because technically it could just still attack them.
It could,
but he turns around, he's like, all right, thanks.
No. And yeah, we get an underwater look. It looked like it was happy that it got Baby Titan back, and it was like, all right, let's go.
Because we see a bunch of them on its back as it's swimming away.
Yeah. I guess this is it.
So it has attachment.
But is that where we'll find out. We'll talk about it afterwards. I think now we get the flashback, right?
So the bartender's standing there, and she's like, "What happened?" And everyone's like, "I don't know." Shaw and Keiko are looking around. 1957. They're confused, and she goes, "Our secret has to remain a secret. I'm sorry." And she walks away. And Keiko again starts feeling the ground. And she's like, do you feel that? And Shaw's like, I don't feel anything. Like, what are you talking about? And then we hear a loud boom and the ground starts shaking. He's like, okay, I feel that. And then we see the cave split open. We see these things crawling out and tons of them.
Infestation. Now, they were roofied, and that was a short amount of it.
Oh, thank God.
Right? It wore off fairly quick. So not only did that happen and then it passed, but everybody left. They just left them there.
Just a horrible time to be tripping, honestly.
Right? Exactly. I mean, that's a nightmare, right? I'm sure everybody's similar. You go to a rave or something, a party, and then you wake up and everyone's gone. They just packed up and left. They left you there. But yeah, so they're there. All these creatures are there. They see the big creature, which we know, and they go running. And this thing is chasing them. All these creatures chase. How can they outrun all of these things? I don't know. But he's like, hey, get to the boat.
But before they could even do that, we see the creature fully on the shore of the edge of the village, comes out of the water and roars. Kind of looks like a dragon squid thing. It's a very interesting thing. Almost like the face of Godzilla, kind of, but like it just starts roaring, and then it smashes, and we just see Keiko and Shaw jump. It looks like it hit the building that they're in, and then that's the end of the episode.
And then they died. It did it. This is the only issue, and it's not with this one. It's with all shows that do a lot of flashbacks. What was it? Arrow used to do it all the time. Every episode had all these flashbacks. I'm like, okay, drama, whatever happens, but we know nothing major happens because he's here in the present day. It's not like you're showing multiple characters and we're only seeing two, and there's missing, let's say, 3 or 4, and then we only see them in the flashbacks. Then clearly something happened. Now I want to know what happened to these people, because maybe they don't make it to the present day, and that's what's going on here in a way. But we know it's good, and we saw them when they were in a helicopter. Hey, you see that? Remember, we've seen this before. It's like, okay, well,
I like that this aspect, because I know that they're going to figure out exactly like something of how they fought it before. You know, that's the only reason
Yeah,
why this
if
is existing in this situation, because it's like,
but then I don't believe so. I don't think that's the case. Because hey, if you made this far, we're gonna give our thoughts, everybody. Thank you for our sticking around with the coverage. Like, subscribe, share. But hey, if you want to hear our thoughts, this is what's going on now. No, I don't think that. I don't think they fought it, because if they did, then Shaw would have told Tim and everybody, we fought this thing before. This is how we can defeat it or evade it or do something. He didn't say that. He didn't say it. They never mentioned it again besides that helicopter ride.
no, they
You know what I
didn't.
mean? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like if this is something that they knew how to deal with, that's the first thing that comes up when you're on the ship. Oh man, big monster. What do we do? Well, this is what we do, because we did it before. They don't. So I have a feeling what we're going to see in the next episode is them running, getting to a boat. Maybe the village lady, the bartender, feels bad, comes back. Come on, let's go. Get some, and then they take off. Maybe Billy shows up. Maybe he felt bad, and he's like, you know what? Maybe I should have just leave my wife with this other guy. He might want to make a move on her. They're on an island. There's a bar.
Either way, something to do
drinking.
with sound. They're gonna figure out what triggers this thing and how it left. And then based on how these shows go, something's gonna fight it, right? So
Oh yeah, definitely someone's going to fight it. It's going to be either Kong or Godzilla. So that's
both of
what I
them,
was
that'll be
thinking.
sick.
See, now it would have been interesting if they were like, all right, the plan with the sonar, with the drone, is to lure it back to Skull Island, so then that way Kong could just smash it. That's it, Kong smash, boom, boom, boom. And that would make sense if they would say that, but no. And we know Godzilla is somewhere out there, so he'll play a part at some point.
He always just appears in the show, so
That's it. It's all right. I'd say he's like Chris Angel, mind freak. He's
Oh, here we
there and
go.
everywhere. That's it. Shout out, friend of the show. But hey, thanks again for sticking with us, covering Monarch, Legacy of Monsters. It's a fun show. Tell your friends. Again, tell all your friends, your next door neighbor, not just about this channel and all that, but no, about the actual show, because I'm getting concerned. I'm getting concerned that people are not watching this show, and that this might be, a wrap, season 2. If we're not getting it, because the production quality is like through the roof. You could see it everywhere. Every time I see the creature and I see the water and I see all the special effects and all that, I just see dollar signs popping up in my
do you think
eyes.
it's the
Not even
name?
my
It's
money.
the title?
The
It's the
title
that's
might be.
nerfing
It might be the title. Yeah, the title might be a little long. People
Monarch.
not understanding Monarch. I could have swore there was another
Because
show
I'm
on
thinking like
Netflix called Monarch.
Monarchy. I'm thinking like
Yeah, there's other things like that, and Legacy of Monsters. People maybe not understand. They're like, is this a docu-series? What are we talking about here?
I would think it like someone's like Legacy of Monsters. I would think it's like some anime show or something. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I
don't
think
know.
that's it. You know how people are. Like they're just like, oh, that sounds weird. I'm not gonna watch that.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna doom scroll all these videos instead. I don't know. But hey, thanks again for watching, subscribing, liking, just hanging out with us. We're covering this. By the time this is out, you'll also see that Lawrence and I are covering Marshals. That's a Yellowstone spinoff. That is awesome. Right? If you like cowboys and all the craziness that's going on in Montana, there's a whole lot of that in that one. And we're also doing Cross. Ken and I covering Cross, detective drama over on Amazon. So, hey, a lot of stuff going on here. We got other things coming up. We got From Horror Show coming. Can't wait for that. All right, everybody.
From is coming back.
Oh, yeah, in April.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? I already talked to
That's a
Amazon
good
about
one.
that one.
Watch
All right,
that.
everybody. Peace.